Yes, I'm shooting this video today to explain a slight modification that needs to be done with the DMX, both the DMX and 0 to 10 volt fixtures that are for the C.H.O.P project. You're looking at a typical 180 watt version that's with DMX controls. As you can see from the label there, I don't know if it's blurred out or not, but that's 180 watts, and you'll notice that there's 3 wires coming out of it. 2 of these wires have a yellow end on there. That is your control wires, and that's to be able to be hooked up with your DMX system. There's also a 3rd wire that is your power. Now, one thing that the modification that needs to be made is we actually need a 4th power cable. Currently, there's 2 drivers. There's a driver on this end, and there's a driver on this end, and they are wired together with a power cord inside that we'll see here in a minute that will ties those together through a single power cord. This screen image probably shows the overall construction of the fixture probably the clearest. As you'll see from the top right there, there's a dimming driver at the very top and also a dimming driver at the very bottom. Now these drivers basically control half the fixture, half the LEDs. Now you'll see that the customer wants to put a lighting inverter in and control half of these fixtures. Okay. Currently, the power that we have is connected. This AC and this AC is connected with a Y cable. So we basically want to go into here and disconnect that and put a separate wire, an additional wire cord, so that you can be able to independently control each side and put this lighting inverter on only half of the fixture. The DC cables, the DMX cable, control cables, are coming out of each end of the fixture right there, and that's why you have 2 leads presently on the fixture itself. So the next part of the video, I'm going to start showing you how we make the modification of putting this extra additional power cable in there. Okay, we're back to the fixture. So basically what we need to do is get internally into this fixture. What I'm going to be doing first of all is taking off this cross brace right here in order to pull this sheet metal, perforated sheet metal cover off, and then we'll also take these 2 driver covers off in order to land this additional cable. So first of all, these are some just regular bolts right here that are Allen head, and it takes a number 6 metric wrench. So I'm going to go ahead and take those bolts off so that we can remove this cover and then remove these brackets. So I removed all 4 bolts from the top cover right here, and this plate can be removed at that point. One thing to notice is these are not symmetric bolt holes. This one's a little bit higher than this one, and this plate reflects that. So before you have difficulties putting this plate back on, make sure and line it up first to determine whether or not you have the correct orientation. So now that that plate's removed, now we're going to lift this fixture up on its side, and on the front of the fixture you'll see these 3 series of bolts which attach this top mounting portion. So we're going to remove those, and I believe those take a number 4 Allen. So let me go ahead and remove those. So this was a number 4 Allen wrench that I used to remove those 3 bolts on each side. This is 1/2 of that bracket that goes on top of the fixture itself that's now been removed. So now that we've removed the top brackets, this is the overall look of the fixture. You'll notice again there's 3 power cords coming out of it. One of them is just a power cord. Okay, that's the one that we're going to that has a Y in it right now, that we're going to run 2 power cords out, and the other 2 cords again are for your DMX controls. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get inside this fixture right here. And we're going to first remove both this cover, this driver cover, and this driver cover. And then this panel should just float freely, this sheet metal perf. So I did use a number 5 Allen wrench to take 2 screws off, both there and there. And that's what the driver cover would look like. So now this is the overall fixture, the look of the fixture when those covers are removed. You can see that there's some pin and sleeve connectors. This helps keep the IP65 rating of the fixture overall, and basically they're just a plug and play system. Okay, so located inside the fixture housing, you're going to find what we're looking for here. This right here. And this basically is a splitter. If you look, there's 2 cords coming out of it. And one of them going to one driver and one going to the other driver. Okay, so now that we've figured out where the Y power cord is, we're going to take this particular driver off of this Y cord so that only this Y cord is only operating power to one of the drivers. So this is the pin and sleeve connector. It's basically a male and a female connector that I'm going to be disengaging. So this again is what we wanted to do. We wanted to take this power cord away from that Y connector. We're going to go ahead and leave that Y connector in there. It's just that this particular one won't be hooked up. It'll just be laying free in here. And we're going to take a single power cord and replace it in the system with this single power cord, and then run it back out of the fixture. So there'll be a total of four cords coming out of the fixture. 2 power cords and 2 control cables. So again, just using that pin and sleeve connector, is I connected this single power cord up, and now I'm going to navigate it through the fixture and basically through this additional eyelet right here. And even though this fixture won't show it, we'll also be providing another black grommet to be put in here to help protect it a little bit. This is a durable SO cord, but this particular one I'm not going to be putting that grommet in there. So now that we've put the single power cord in replace of the Y cord, we have a total of 4 wires come out of it. 2 of them are power cords, and then 2 of them are the control cables. So the next step is basically just to put the fixture back together. So we're going to start with this driver cover and put it on this end right here. One thing to note on this is this piece of sheet metal right here. You can see there's a couple of notches in it. Whenever I put this cover back on, there is a groove in the side of this unit right here. Okay, so that whenever that cover slips on, you'll actually want to slip it in there so that it seats into those grooves right there. So this is what it should look like whenever this driver cover is back installed, and you'll see that I captured that lip right there where that mates up, so that I can't push that down or anything. It's nicely seated in there. Now I'm going to move to this driver cover and put it on, and we should be close to being done. One thing that's worth noting whenever you get to this end is this Y connector is a little bit large, especially whenever we're not using this cable. So we're kind of squeezed on space in here. So on this Y connector, go ahead and put it inside here and just let it float out freely out here. So you'll notice that Y connector body is internal right there, and it's not actually in the housing anymore, which is fine. Okay, so to recap, we tore into the fixture, got another power cord coming out of there, so we now have two power cords. One would be for the inverter side and one for the non-inverter side. We put the driver covers back on both ends, and then we just need to finish off by putting our brackets, these brackets, back on the sides. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we've got the mounting plate on the top here, one last thing we need to do is put this square portion to it up here. And remember, like I said last time, is these are not perfectly symmetric intentionally. So the orientation is critical. But I believe this one's a little bit higher up. But if you put this, actually this one over here, so if you before you put this on here, make sure that it looks like those holes will line up. And you're probably going to have to push this side down a little bit. That's just part of the design of the fixture itself. But they should all land, so I'm going to go ahead and put those four bolts back in. So we've concluded by landing another power cord so that we have two power cords coming out. One of those circuits will be circuited to the inverter itself and the other not to the inverter. And then we also have two DMX control cables. So that's the basic instructions on how to modify this fixture with an additional power cord.